those in the audience, we would like to know where you are and what time it is in your time zone. So if you can put maybe your country, your city maybe, and the time of the day in your time zone. I'm just curious to see what kind of geography we have. I'll put mine just in a second. So I'm in the,
Oh, somebody from the Ukraine, Dr. Voss.
oh yeah. So what time is it? Yeah, it's 9 a.m. in my time zone.
Yeah, and it's Argentina, Ghana, South Africa, the Philippines, 10 p.m. in the Philippines.
Oh, somebody's staying up late. Thank you. Thank you. Germany,
Singapore, and
Romania, Brazil, Taipei, also 10 p.m. India, 7:30. I love India's time zones. They're half an hour off, so it's always.
why is that?
I don't
Tejas,
know.
why is
No,
India's time
it's
zone a
like
half
that
hour?
always.
Because so it's actually like it's a very large country, so it falls under multiple time zones geographically, but because we follow a standardized time zone across the entire country, so like everywhere it's the same time, even though like literally in different parts it might be like later into the night than in others.
They just took the average of all of the time zones, I guess, and it just turned out to be the half hour. Yeah, but it's always a little not inconvenient, but you have to remember.
That was
So
one thing that I remember from teaching China, that they actually use Beijing time across the country.
Yeah.
So it could be, and the country is so large that it could be the middle of the night in some spaces of the country, but they're still on Beijing time.
On one time zone, yeah.
Which is
I
interesting.
see several Ukrainians. Доброго дня, здоровенькі були. Very good. Romania, Germany, Pakistan. Yeah, very nice. We have quite a few countries here. So very nice. And then obviously we have South. So among the participants, I mean, among the panelists here. So Dr. B is in Florida, in Miami, Florida, where it's always summer to make us all envious.
Actually, I'm wearing long sleeves today. This is a
cold. It's
very
winter.
rare
It's
day.
winter.
It's not going to hit 73 degrees until about 12 today.
73, that's 23 approximately for those of you who live.
I know. I'm just
in there.
razzing it, guys.
And then we have Tejas, who is in India, right? So we have Leon, who is in South Africa, like real South Africa, somewhere on the, I don't know what part of country it is, but the pictures are like, you know, like those posters about national parks in South
The
Africa.
Serengeti.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Ania, you are in the Philippines, right?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
In
So,
Manila, right?
Yeah.
In my hometown.
Very nice, yes. And then I'm not sure about the location of Erika, Beatrice, and Joanny. So
Well, I want to introduce Erika, because
yes,
Erika is a guest. She is our keynote speaker. She'll be coming on about 9:30-ish. So Erika is one of my good friends, and she is actually an author and a TEDx speaker. And she is our motivational speaker today. And she has such a great story to tell. And I invited her because, you know, you and I come from countries where we struggled to get to where we are, and we've achieved where, you know, we were impactful and we were able to create this platform for our students to follow us along. Erika did the same thing, and hopefully we can kind of like persuade her to join our village. So Erika, this is my village, and we are from all over the world. So just a brief introduction to Erika, but I don't want to give too much away, but she is a wonderful guest speaker, a keynote speaker, and a TEDxer, and I hope that everybody stays to listen to her conversation.
Yes.
So, and
Erika is also in Florida, or where are you?
Go ahead, Erika, where are you? She's muted. Erika, you're muted, my love.
There you go. Can you hear me? Good morning, everyone. I am actually in Florida as well, with a sweater like she is, because it's a little cold today, but we have nothing to complain about.
You must be freezing there, so you put long sleeves.
Yeah, exactly.
People in Ukraine are like, oh yeah, that's cold.
Right.
And Beatrix, where are you from?
Currently, I'm in Romania, but later on today I will go back to Germany, and yeah, then back to
That's
the
Europe.
university in, yes, Europe, in Romania.
No. What I mean is that's Europe. So they visit like 3 countries in a day. So they just go for lunch to a different country. So, you know, it's, by American standards, it would be, you know, far away. But yeah, I'm now in Romania, but I go back to Germany later in the day. So that's Europe.
Yes.
Jetzt, sind Sie Deutsch?
Nur ein bisschen.
Oh, okay. So you're Romanian, but
Yes.
do you study in Germany?
No, my parents live in Germany. I study in the Netherlands.
Ah, okay.
That's what I'm talking about. So where are you? Well, I'm kind of in the Netherlands, but I'm also in Romania, but I'm actually, my parents are in Germany. So I kind of go there for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. Ich war in Deutschland für 7 Jahre gewohnt, in Frankfurt. So, yeah.
We live near Munich, so that's a little bit far. But I have a lot of classmates from Frankfurt.
Yeah.
If it's mentioned, then grüß Gott. So servus. Well, that's what they say in the south there in München. So that's, yeah.
So Joanna, you are in Singapore?
Yes, I'm in Singapore.
Very good. Joanna, you are one of our, I remember you being one of our
yeah.
best. Yeah, you winner for our X Culture Challenge, what, 2 semesters ago?
Oh yeah, it has been a long time ago. It feels like yesterday.
Oh yeah, time goes fast, right? But I remember that, Vas, that was when you and I were having a competition between academy and virtual, you know, the university students.
Yes.
And, you know, hands down, academy teams did really well that year. And Joanna was in that winning team.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, Joanna. So Singapore never gets cold either, right? So I guess it's warm there all the time.
Yes, it's summer all year round. And just earlier, my parents were both complaining about the sun. It's scorching hot.
Even in January, right?
Yes, all year round.
So who else do we have? We have one student that I don't recognize.
Pooja is still there, right? So did she introduce herself?
Oh, it's Pooja. Okay. Go ahead, Pooja.
Hi, everyone. I'm Pooja Gewali, and I'm a senior coach this semester, and I'm from Nepal. And it's really cold right here.
Really cold, yeah. Judging by your background, you must be somewhere at the International Space Station or something like that.
Yes,
Yeah.
but it's really cold.
Well, Pooja, so Nepal is very high. So does
Yeah.
it ever really get hot?
Yes, actually, Nepal is not that too high because like it has like the meter ranges from 60 meter to 8,848 meter. So we also have a very hot region near to India, so it's not that cold.
Okay, so, and Nepal is in the Himalayas, correct?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Erika, I just wanted you to see where all of our amazing students are from. And this is just our panel. Right now we have 62 kids. And if you go into the chat, you'll see where they are from all over the world. Vas, how many countries are we represented this year?
Well, we still don't know how many we will have this semester because the applications are still coming in. Last semester, we had almost 7,000 students, 189 universities, 76 countries by the location of the students, 51 countries by the location of the university, and something like 153 countries by the nationality of the students. So a lot of them, like our European friends here, so, you know, a German studying in the Netherlands, but living in Romania. So if you account for the actual nationalities, it's almost entire, you know, the entire range. So, and then of those, a portion are university, or most of them would be university students, but then we also have some students, we call them the academy students, so usually pre-college teens. We would have also some what we call professionals, so non-student adults who seek additional experience. And then obviously, in addition to all that group, we would have up to 100 or so, we call them coaches. So those would be the most talented students who participated last semester or last year, did extremely well, and then agreed to share their wisdom and experience with the new generation of ex-culture students. So they complete additional training and then become mentors, coaches, big brothers and sisters to the new cohort of ex-culture students. So that's quite a group.
We are a community of students helping students, actually.
I love that. That's the way the world works, right? If we all help each other.
Yeah.
And the best way to learn, you can read as many books as you wish, you know, about international business or about coaching or about mentoring, but until you actually do it, you know, just like swimming, you cannot get in the, you know, you cannot learn how to swim without getting in the water. So same thing here.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. And for Academy, and for those of you guys who are on this webinar right now, Academy is actually, you're either in the professional track or the teen track. And Dr. Voss talks about the university students, but we created Academy as a platform for you guys to begin to experience what it's like to work globally, virtually globally early on, so that you can help yourselves go to university. So, and that's why we have so many young people in this webinar, because it is targeted specifically to Academy students. We don't have a big cohort of professionals right now because we haven't really had the time to spin that to be its independent silo. But for the 67 students that we have on this webinar right now, we are still open to registration. So if you have friends, relatives, teenagers who would like to get this experience of working globally, virtually with people from all over the world, and you can see where everybody comes from. And hopefully you've already taken a look at our curriculum. We are still looking or opening registration for more students to join us. So please, as soon as you're done today with this webinar, you know, send out the invitation. We will be recording this webinar. You will have access to it. And you're welcome to send this webinar link to other students if you know anybody who'd like to join us. So Dr. Voss, we have 3 minutes left for our welcome, and then we've got to let Tejas control us. Yeah. So anything for the next 3 minutes?
Yes, so first, a big hello from Rafael Tamashiro, who is our program administrator. He got sick, he just sent me an email, so he made arrangements. There are several other people here kind of to step in for him, but he sent in his hellos. He got sick and couldn't join us today. I would like to say a couple of things as a both welcome, but also to set the expectations for this program. First, as I always start a new year, I'll tell you a story of two men walking in a Canadian forest, and it's winter, it's snowing, and they're walking through the forest and wake up a bear. And so a big grizzly bear wakes up and starts chasing them. And so they're running away from the bear, running really fast, but the bear obviously is faster than a human, and so closing in very fast. And then one of those tourists says to the other, "Hey, why are we running from the bear? There is no way we can be faster than a bear." And the other one says, "Well, I don't have to be faster than the bear. I just have to be faster than you." And so the point here is that with Ex-Culture Academy, one of our goals is to prepare you for your future applications to universities, for stipends, maybe even for jobs. Dr. B just mentioned that we worked with a cohort of students who were applying for universities this year. So we had a group of students, several dozen of them actually, who were graduate or who are graduating this year, and so who approached us with questions about how to apply to American and European universities. And we assembled a group of professors. So there were 3 professors and several of our own students who got accepted to elite universities in the last couple of years. And so we met every week with them as they were preparing to submit their applications. And so we just finished, like literally a couple of weeks ago. The last applications went in, and we are waiting for the results. But one thing came up over and over again over these half a year, and that is, how do you differentiate yourself from all the many other applicants for the universities and programs and scholarships that you're applying for? So like, for example, if you're applying to universities, Harvard, Stanford, Yale caliber, there would be easily 100 applicants for every opening, for every position there. Everybody, all the people who applied to those colleges, they all had good grades. They all went to good schools. They all speak several languages. They all have nearly perfect SAT scores or whatever standardized scores you're taking. So how do you stand out from that crowd? How do you show that you're different? And so one thing that seems to be helping our students is the X-Culture experience. So will you become the world-class expert in international business after completing this project? Probably not world-class. It takes a little bit more than a semester of working with people from other countries to become a true expert in international business. Will you become better than most kids your age? Oh yes. You will be one of a very, very few people who will have completed an international business consulting project for a real client, working with people from a dozen different countries, communicating across the time zone differences, communicating across the cultural differences, learning about the business model of your client, doing your research. So this is the kind of work that most people never do. And so if you put that on your resume, you will be different, especially like some of our students, if you then go through the coaching program. And so in addition to being a member of an international team, you also become a coach, and you kind of see from behind the scenes what's going on in those hundreds of teams, what kind of challenges they experience. Maybe you help them with some, I don't know, conflict resolution, provide feedback to them on their work, provide training to them. I mean, this is the kind of experience that even, experienced managers often don't have. And so again, will it make you a guru? Probably not. Will it make you better than your competition? Probably yes. But most importantly, it will make you better than you are now. So 4 months from now, you will definitely know more about international business than you know today. And that's probably what counts most. One more thing that I would like to say again, just to set the expectations right. And many people will be cheering when they hear that and say, oh yeah, that's what I want. But maybe many of you will say, oh, okay, good to know. And that is, X-Culture was originally born, and it's been almost 12 years now, originally born for MBA students. So when we started the project, it was primarily for business students at elite universities around the world, mainly the United States, Europe, some developed countries in Asia, but then we expanded into all continents, and just about every country has participated at some point. We are Dr. B, I am, all the other over 200 professors who participate every semester. Our main job is teaching students at the university level. And so that sort of is both an opportunity, but also a challenge. The challenge is that we always sort of gear the project towards smart, autonomous, disciplined, highly motivated, prepared university students. And so we expect you to be kind of not only motivated intrinsically, but also doing a lot of work, making your own decisions, resolving the challenges on your own. In fact, the whole point of the project is to put you in that team and let it up to you to figure out how to resolve all the many issues that you will figure. We will provide support. We will try to help you. But in a way, we just literally throw you in the water and say, swim. And most people swim. But so we kind of treat you as adults, we treat you as university students. And so that is sometimes a little challenging for the younger students, but that's the whole point. So we want you to have that challenging experience so that you learn from the experience. The bad news here is that sometimes perhaps we don't really hold your hand as many of you may expect. So especially the younger participants, I don't know, maybe they expect that there will be a teacher who works with you all the time, who gives you homework every day and then checks if you did it. We will not do that. So we will have coaching available to you. We will have weekly meetings. So we will talk to you all the time, but we will not be providing sort of, directions every step of the way. We will give you the task. We will give you the resources. But the whole point of the project is to use those resources and to complete the project on your own. So don't get upset when sometimes you're not entirely sure what needs to be done, when sometimes you're not entirely sure how to communicate to your team. Figuring that out is sort of very much part of the challenge. And so that's after you've completed the project, looking back, that's what you will say, oh, that was actually a useful moment for me. So good luck to you. Congratulations on becoming sort of almost like a university student, at least from in our eyes. And I truly hope that you will learn from this experience. And when it's over, you will say, oh man, it was so difficult, but I'm glad I did it because I learned a lot in the process. And I'm going to stop here and give the mic back to Dr.
Actually, Dr. Voss, because of you have an obligation at 10 o'clock. So we're going to switch a couple of things around. But just to piggyback on what you just said. So I've been doing this project with Dr. Voss for, I don't know, 11, 12 years.
12 years.
Yeah. And what I've experienced as a professor, looking from the other side, is the growth that my students have gone through just by understanding other people's cultures, their perspective, what their values are. So while you're doing this project, yes, we want you to do well in the project. That's the whole point, right? Because you want to learn how to do business transactions, you want to do research, you want to learn how to work collaboratively, but also take the time to learn about your peers' cultures, your peers' traditions, what their perspectives are, because our overarching goal in X Culture is really to help you evolve to become a global citizen, a citizen of the world, where we have more compassion, where we have more understanding, and really cultural intelligence, which is what you're really learning. Understanding how other people work within their cultures is really the key to so many of the world's challenges right now. And I mean, ultimately, we hope that we will, Dr. Voss always says, maybe we'll move the needle, right? That our hope is really to move the needle towards world peace and to create a world where we can all collectively exist in. So keep that in mind as you're working in your groups. The other thing that I want you to pay attention to is, a lot of you guys, because this is a very independent, collaborative project, that you're going to have to self-motivate. You're going to have to put yourself on a schedule, especially for my academy students. Now, you guys know that I'm the director of academy, but really the team that runs this are all of the people that you see on the panel right now, all of the senior coaches, Raphael, Tejas, Leon, they are the anchor that keeps this program going. So we are there to help you. I mean, more so now, if you have a problem, reach out to your coach. That's the whole, this is why they are with us. They are there to help you and guide you. And coaches, please, if you need help helping your students, reach out to each other or reach out to me, because that is the reason why we're all on this together, is to help each other, pull each other up. Okay, so guys, students, do not fret. There's always somebody behind you to push you along or to pull you along, but then you're going to have to be self-motivated to get the job done, and then interact with all of your newfound friends, because like Leon and Tejas and Ania, Leon is in South Africa, Tejas is in India, Ania is in the Philippines. They're all best friends. Believe it or not, they're all best. Because you know why I know this? Because I watch their WhatsApp. Okay, they're talking about the silliest things. They're all best. They've never met each other in person. What an opportunity it is for you right now to make friends from all over the world. So please take advantage of that. Okay. So Dr. Voss.
Dr. B, one more thing that I want to expand on, one point that you mentioned, world peace. These are not just the words. I mean, yes, for you guys, I guess you participate in X Culture for, let's call it, selfish reasons. So you want to learn something new. You would like to strengthen your resume. Maybe you want to meet some people around the world, maybe then do well and come to one of the X Culture symposia that we will be organizing again once the pandemic is over. But globally, we know several things about you. So we collect a lot of data, and we know that from before to after the project, we know that cultural intelligence improves substantially. We know that interest in working with people from other cultures improves substantially. We know that the self-confidence in being able to work with people from other cultures improves substantially. And we have quite a few students who love X-Culture so much that they participate 2, sometimes even 3, and sometimes even 4 times in a row. And so we have the data on their performance, like the objective actual performance each time, and each time it improves dramatically. So the teams do better if they have a team member who did it before. The quality of work improves, the number of conflicts is lower, those team members are more likely to be team leaders, so there is an improvement across the board. Now, we've had over 80,000 students who have participated in X-Culture over these years. Almost, as I said, over 80, not quite 100,000, we will probably hit 100,000 next year. Now, all of these are not your regular kids. All of these are graduates from either world's leading universities, or when you look at the academy, I met quite a few of them virtually and some of them personally. I mean, these are the kids that will become tomorrow's prime ministers, presidents, company owners, city mayors, public figures. So these are the people who will essentially be making the decisions on this planet for us in the next generation. And so if we can teach them how, and maybe we can give them that sense of, yes, I can work with people from other cultures and I know how. I don't know, when Dr. B says world peace, maybe we will reduce the chance of the Third World War by 1%, 2%, maybe even 10%. And if so, I guess I will be a happy person dying if I know that I've reduced the chances of a major conflict by whatever percentage. Mm-hmm. So yes, individually, we know why you're here. But as a group, societally, we may actually make a real difference in the world, not just the worst, literally in the world. Mm-hmm. So
impact. We call that.
No pressure, but keep that in mind.
Okay, so Dr. Voss and Erika, I'm sorry, I think we're going to run over a little bit to start your section. So Tejas is putting in the chat, if you do have questions, go ahead and pose it in the Q&A section. Our panelists will do their best to answer, but Dr. Voss is going to show you now what to do to proceed with your X-Culture projects, okay?
Yes, just a very quick review of what you need to do. So you all have received the welcome letters, right? And in the welcome letters, you have a little of information on how the things work and what you should be looking at. And so it's really very simple. So we have 3 phases to the project. We have so-called the theory phase, which starts next week for you all. And so the theory phase is 4 weeks, and each week you will have essentially theoretical training in international business and collaboration. So the first week you will cover some of the materials related to how the project itself works, so that you know what we do, why we do it, a little bit on the history of the project, but more importantly, on how the teams are formed, what you need to be doing, where are the deadlines, things like that. And I can share with you a couple of demos here, so not slides, but the actual pages, so that you know where to go. So for the general overview of the program, you go to the xculture.org/academy, and here you will find everything that you need to have, from how it works, to the schedule, to the benefits to you, to the benefits to teachers if you come here with a teacher, a little bit on the history, but then on the design. So the theoretical phase starts next week, and here you will cover all the things that you need to know. So week 1, the project itself. Week 2, the human side of international business. So it will be all on communication in cross-cultural teams, leadership in cross-cultural teams, teamwork, conflict resolution, free writing, motivation. So anything and everything that you may encounter in a global virtual international team, we will share with you sort of a crash course on how to be an effective team member. Very importantly, so many of us do a lot of consulting on teamwork. And so here, not only we distilled all our experience in a couple of video lectures, but more importantly, we looked at X-Culture itself. We collect a lot of data. We know what kind of challenges the teams experience. And we tested, even for most of those challenges, multiple intervention strategies. So what do you do if, for example, somebody on the team is too bossy or too shy, or perhaps maybe doesn't speak English fluently enough? What are the possible responses? And so in the training module, we will teach you or tell you, give you the empirical evidence, the statistics on what works, what doesn't, and what is the best strategy for each of those challenges. Then in week 3, we will cover the technical side of global virtual collaboration. So thanks to Leon and Raphael here. So they prepared a wonderful training module on how to use over a dozen of different online collaboration tools. I mean, obviously Zoom and Skype, but also Dropbox, Google Docs, Slack, Trello, WhatsApp, Doodle, all the many tools that will make your work easier when you work with people who are in different countries, in different time zones, so that you can use those tools and communicate with your team effectively. Very importantly, we were tempted a few times to create our own app where you would log in and communicate with your team through the app. But eventually we decided not to do it. And the reason for that is we want you to learn the tools that are available out there for free and that are used in the real corporate world. So they wouldn't have the Xculture app for communication. They would use Zoom and Slack and Doodle and Google Docs and Dropbox. And so we want you to learn those tools so that even after the project is over, you could continue using them in your studies, in your work, in your business. So we will teach you how to use them. It's still up to your team to decide which tools you want to use. You don't have to use all of them, but at least you will know what exists and how to use it. And then finally, the most challenging week, week 4, that's the international business itself. So again, most of us teach multiple international business courses, and we still don't cover everything in those courses that we know. So here we have a challenge to teach you the basics of international business in 1 week. And so we try to do that as much as we can. So international trade, international strategy, international marketing, international HR, international market entry modes, all of those international logistics, all of those topics that we cover in our business courses at the university level, we tried to condense it to a few lectures that you will cover that week so that you know a little bit more about international business theory and practice as you're working on the challenges presented by the clients. Now, in that welcome email, you have a link to the Xculture resource page. And so this is where you will find all those training materials. So each time it's not really that much. So it would be like a few short videos and a couple of sometimes PDF files and sometimes other text files. And you just click here. So if it's, for example, a conversation about global virtual teams, you click and you watch. So here we have kind of a mini interactive lecture, so to speak. If it's, for example, module 3, known problems and best practices in GVTs, you click and it opens the file and you just read it as a book chapter. Essentially, you can download it, you can read it directly from the screen, whatever works for you. So that's the first 4 weeks. Then after you are done with the 4 weeks, we will have a little break. So there will be 2 weeks to kind of recoup after the theory phase. We allow that time also just in case somebody joins late. Like, for example, we have this time a class of Brazilian students who will join a week later. So the semester, for some reason, it's a private school and they start their spring semester a little bit, or I guess for them it's the fall semester, a little bit later. So we have that little buffer between the 2 sessions for catching up, or maybe if somebody missed one assignment, they can redo it before we disqualify them or accept them. So there will be a little break between the practical phase and the theoretical phase. But then on March the 7th, that's when the practical training starts. And so on that day, you will receive an email with a list of your team members. So there will be normally 7 team members per team, each one from a different country. And so you will receive your email that will literally say, hey, John, or whatever your name is, here is your team. And you will see 7 names, 7 countries where they come from, and then 7 email addresses. And so your job will be to contact everybody first by email, introduce yourself, and then as a team, you will have to decide on your own how you will communicate. Will you create a group in Discord, or will you create a group in Facebook, or will you stick with email, or will you have weekly meetings in maybe Zoom? So you decide how you will communicate, how frequently, what tools you will use. And then you will go to a list of available clients. And again, at that point, we will transfer you to the university system. And so I'll show you the list of clients that we have confirmed. At this time we will add 2 more. So we just finished negotiations with 2 more. So there will be 2 more client organizations, and you can choose as a team any one that you like. So we will have about 10 clients, and so they will be listed here. And so you will have companies like, for example, Advanced Super Abrasives. It's a company from the United States. that makes all kinds of tools for industry. But if you, for example, follow the space news, so you know there is a rover on Mars at this time. So the drill bit for that rover was made here in Greensboro, North Carolina, by the company called Advanced Super Abrasives. And so they're one of our clients this semester. Differ Chat, it's a company that creates communication tools for universities out of Norway. Jackpack out of Colombia, they make backpacks, you know, extremely popular backpacks in Latin America, and they want to expand into new countries. Another company from Singapore that specializes in video gaming and cryptocurrencies. A toy maker from Brazil, Novabrink, the world's third largest toy manufacturer. So they make toys, like plastic toys, wooden toys. Wheelstair company, Wheelstair from Poland. They make attachments for wheelchairs that convert a wheelchair into almost like all-terrain vehicle. So they can go up and down stairs, they can go through like any terrain. And so this way, people who are in wheelchairs can use their wheelchair for not only flat ground, but also from unusual terrains and don't need help and can move about as needed. And then the X-Culture Academy itself is one of the clients this semester as well. So there will be 2 more companies added before you're placed in teams. And so you can choose any one of them that you want. And as I was saying before, once you're in the team, you are intentionally, deliberately on your own. So we will provide, as I said, weekly review sessions. Coaching will be provided. If needed, you can book a one-on-one meeting with us. But by design, from that point on, the main sort of purpose, the main learning objective, the main added value is not the report that you will write in the end, but the process, how you get there. And so we kind of deliberately leave you alone at that point so that you have a little bit of a challenge communicating with your team, doing your research, maybe, you know, communicating with your client, specifically so that you experience those challenges and learn through practice how to deal with them. And then finally, there will be one more phase when everything's done, and that is the reflection phase. So all of May, it will be roundtable meetings where you will share your experience with other students. You will hear what kind of experiences they had. We will have the presentations, so you will present your work to the client organizations. We will send you your certificates that will look something like this, recommendation letters and performance reviews. And then end of May, we will review all of your work, all of your performance data, and then we will have a committee of professors who will select the winners of this round. Again, it will be only a couple of teams, maybe one or a couple of teams. Sometimes it's a tie that will win the competition. So if you will not win the competition, don't get upset. Completing it, it's already a big achievement, but there will be a couple of teams perhaps that will be officially announced winners. Now, again, the bad news for you guys is that you will be competing against university students. So we do not differentiate if you're kids, master's students, and graduate students. It's one big cohort. And so somehow, even with that, and the committee often doesn't even know if you're kids or not. But even with that, we always have a few academy teams that are in the finalist list. So some of them do so well that literally they make my MBA students look bad. So hopefully one of you or several of you will be on that team, and you will proudly say that not only I completed the project, not only I won the project, but I actually won competing against university students from all around the world. And we'll make sure to say that obviously in your recommendation letters as well.
Yeah.
And at that point,
Joanna was one of those. She was the one that, yeah. So Dr. Voss, just a couple of questions to answer live before you go. And then we will proceed with our guest speaker, Erika. One question was that an MBA student was concerned that how you were going to choose the teams. And then another student is asking when they have to pay. Okay, so you need to differentiate between, of course, university students and the academy students, one. And then the second thing is how you place them in teams.
So when it comes to teams, it's very simple, almost to the point of being primitive. We have several objectives when forming teams. So for the academy students, first and foremost, we match you by age. So you are different ages. Some of you are 15, some of you are 16, some of you are 17, and so on. And some of you may be even 18. And so obviously the teams will be formed of people of the same age. So if you are 15, your team members will be also 15, plus or minus maybe a year or so. Somebody may be a little bit older, but generally it's the same age. Second, we want to make diversify or have as much cultural diversity in the team as possible. And so we try to select members in a way that each one is preferably on a different continent and then a different country as well. And so we literally just try to maximize that diversity as much as possible. Other than that, it's more or less random. I'll show you very briefly. So this is the file I worked with last semester. So this was the so-called late track. So we have 2 tracks each semester. So in the late track, we had 4,600 students. So that was the second track. And so here I have all of the information about these students, you know, university they come from, age, experience, country, nationality, readiness test results, all those tests. And then we literally just kind of, you know, create a file that looks like this. And so here we had about 1,000 teams or so in that track. And we form the teams, you know, in a way that, you know, just seems to be as diverse as possible. As you can see here, I even use colors for the different countries so that it's easy for me to make sure that there are no similar colors in the same country. And yeah, like this team, for example, somebody from the Czech Republic, somebody from Germany, somebody from France, somebody from the United States, Pakistan, and then that's a different team. So here they had 5 people, some teams have 6 people, some teams have 7 people. So here, like we even had, I believe, a few teams that had 8 people occasionally. And so that's pretty much it. When it comes to payments, that's a very important thing. So you must understand that Xculture is a team-based project. So it is not a summer camp. It is not a book. It is not an online course where students go through it individually. So what that means is that we want you only if you are prepared. So if I were selling a book, if I were selling a summer, you know, class or a course, I would care about you paying to me and not care whether or not you are ready and participate in the project. If you buy my book and you never read it, that's fine. I'm happy anyway. Xculture is different. Xculture is a team-based project. And so if you sign up but don't participate, either because maybe your English is not good enough, maybe you don't have time, maybe you're not motivated enough, we don't want you, because you will then spoil the experience for the other 6 team members or whatever number of team members you have. So we want you only if you are ready to do the job, if you are prepared, if you've completed the necessary training, if you have the necessary language skills, if you have the necessary time and self-discipline. And so what that means is that we don't want you to pay until we've confirmed that you're ready for the project. So when you apply, we say, thank you for your application. Let's do the training phase. And only then, if you're ready, we will invite you to pay your participation fee, because if you don't pass the training phase, we will ask you to maybe come back again next year.
And so the
theoretical phase, but yes, exactly. And so the theoretical phase has sort of 2 purposes. One for you is to prepare, so to learn the necessary information and acquire the necessary skills to be an effective global virtual team member. For us, there is a second very important purpose, and that is selection. So we will be very carefully looking at you, what you're doing. And our main concern will be, are you motivated and disciplined and organized enough to show up every week, week after week, complete the training, do the test, do well on the test, not lose that motivation and performance level. There will be many people, I will tell you honestly, there will be many people who will do well in 1 week and then will disappear for a week because they have an exam at school, or maybe they are busy at something, you know, with something else, or maybe they just didn't feel like that week. And then they will come later, you know, 2 weeks later back and say, oh, sorry, I just, you know, I was busy, and can I do it again? That will be a big red flag for us, because, you know, if you were not available for the theory training 1 week, maybe you will not be available for your team sometimes. And so for us, sometimes it's even more important to see the consistency in your performance rather than excellent results on the tests. If you get on the test, let's say 70, and we want 75 or more to pass, I know you can probably study a little bit more and you can get those extra 5 points. But if you don't show the level of dedication and performance, that's where I get nervous, because that's when I know that, well, maybe he will not communicate with his team, you know, consistently and regularly. Yeah. So we are watching you, and only after we've confirmed that you are ready and you will be a good team member and the team will be happy with you, only then we will send you the official acceptance letter and we will say, okay, now you can pay your participation fee.
And that usually happens in that 2-week window
Yes.
after theory 1 and before theory 2. And for those of you guys, if you are here as a university student, you actually, your university pays for you, right? So universities are the ones who take on the liability and the cost for your experience. And as a university student, this is usually a part of your grade. Okay, so I guess those are all of the open questions right now. And as we said, if you have questions, please post it in the Q&A, and that our panelists will be answering those questions for you. So,
and Dr. B, just one quick question, just in case we have some university students here. So for you guys, the game is a little bit different. So you don't need to do the 4 weeks of training because you have your professors, your courses, that's where you get the training. So you only do a virtual test. So it's a one test. We call it the readiness test. You should have received your welcome letters with the link to the readiness test. Once you're done with the test, you will be placed on teams. And so your story is a little different. You're more mature. You are prepared. You're business students. You probably have completed several years of training already. You have a professor who will be with you and devotes a little time in each lecture. So with you, it's not really easier per se, but we can skip some of those pre-selections that we do with the pre-project, pre-college teams. So with you, it's more straightforward, and usually we don't have any problems with the university students. They already have the necessary training and discipline, and just by the virtue of being at these leading universities, usually that tells us that they're already good enough. So, but then again, if you need any help, we'll still have coaches available to you. You are still welcome and encouraged to attend the weekly review sessions. We will be providing all the necessary support and guidance to you as well.
yeah. So, but this orientation is for mostly our academy students. I don't know why we have university students here, but please ask your professor for guidance if you have further questions, okay? So Tejas, can I invite Erika now to do her guest speaking? We're running 15 minutes off, but we'll flip some things.
Yeah, no worries, that's perfectly fine. So yeah, thank you so much for that introduction. And yes, you can definitely invite her.
Okay, so without further ado, I would like to invite Miss Erika Obando, who is, again, a wonderful friend. She is a TEDx speaker, and she is also an author of an amazing book that she'll talk about now. But what I hope she prepares for you is her story, because I think that for so many of us who come from countries around the world that are underdeveloped or developing, right? And we find ourselves wanting to improve our lives in the future, of course. We take a look at who have accomplished what we aspire to do, and we use them as kind of like a role model, right? It's kind of like the target that we try to go towards. And Erika is one of those people who has come from a life of, let's say, challenges, and has really accomplished where she is today is incredible. And if you do ever have the opportunity, read the book, because the book will give you the full story. But without further ado, please welcome Ms. Erika Obando.
Thank you, thank you. I'm really, really excited to be here. I am quite shocked at how many countries are actually on here. That's actually my first experience, so this is very exciting for me. And I thank you, Dr. Baumani, for having me here. So as Dr. Baumani said, I am an author. I am a speaker. I've been speaking for the last 8 years, and I am a transformational coach. So I help individuals get unstuck from their lives and help them heal some of their past and inner child trauma. And I work in that space because I came from that myself. So I'll share a little bit about my beginnings, and then I'll tell you what I'm doing today. And then that way you guys can connect the dots. So I'm from Colombia. I saw that there's a couple of people from Colombia, so ¿qué parceros? I am very excited to see that there's people in here from Colombia, but I was born in Colombia, and my parents wanted to give me a better life and give me an opportunity to be someone in my life. And so they brought me to the United States when I was 5 years old. And I came here at that time illegally. And so it was a very difficult situation for us to come here to this country illegally and try to build a new life here. But we did. And unfortunately, because we were here illegally, we were deported back to Colombia, at which point my parents had to make the very difficult decision of saying, we're going to go back again. And so I came here for a second time to the United States. Now, that's kind of where my story started. But unfortunately, a lot of hardships, and we had a lot of hardships and challenges as an immigrant family, trying to be legalized, my dad trying to find work. And then as a family in itself, we were struggling because being in a new country was difficult. My mother had some issues, some psychological issues that then kind of came through into our family lifestyle. And so I came from a very traumatized and abusive family environment because of those circumstances. And I actually had a very difficult time trying to identify who I was, who I wanted to be in an environment where it was already hostile. And so I decided that at 14 years old, I left my home and I went to go live on my own, trying to figure out what that looked like. Because I even at 14 years old, I knew that there was something better for me, that I had a purpose, that there was something that I needed to fulfill for my life. And so when I left at 14, it was really hard because can you imagine living on your own at 14? And I didn't live exactly on my own. I had these wonderful women that took me into their home and guided me and helped me through the challenges of growing up without my family. But the good side to this story is that I never allowed any of my hardships or my challenges to identify me as a victim. I even when I felt that I was a victim in my circumstances, because I'm like, why is my family not what everybody's family is like? Why do I have to go through this? I constantly asked myself those questions, but something inside of me always said, you know what? You're meant for bigger. You're meant to leave a legacy. You're meant to do so much more. And I listened to that inside voice. And because of it, I was able to get to where I am today. Now, we all have challenges, regardless of where we live around the country. I have spoken in different places around the country, and I see how people struggle, very similar to how I struggled here in the United States. But the key component to what you do with your struggle is mindset, right? How do you think your way through these circumstances, and your heart, right? Deep down inside, you are meant to be somebody. You're meant to do great things for this world, change this world. I mean, X Culture is creating a platform to give you all the tools that you need to go ahead and change this world, one person at a time. And the fact that you are all here and taking advantage of all of these resources is you're very fortunate to be in this space. Now, I did a bunch of things in my life. I've done a lot of different professions. Right out of high school, I started working for attorneys. And so I escalated up the ranks of the legal field. And I did that for 17 and a half years. And in that, I learned how to storytell. Right. I never wanted to be in the legal field as far as like my whole future, but I actually learned how to storytell because attorneys, what they do is that they are telling the story of their client to the judge or to other attorneys. And that skill set that I picked up ended up allowing me the opportunity to write my own book. You guys can see it back there. This is my book. It's called Without a Voice, A Woman's Journey to Resiliency. And it talks about my story. It's based off of my TED Talk that I did in 2017. It's called When Breaking Points Lead to Empowerment. And at the end, I'll share my screen so that you can all connect and have access to the information. But I talked about breaking points leading to empowerment for a reason. Because again, going back to my first point, when you allow life's challenges to make you a victim and you take that title and carry it, then you will be a victim forever. But when you take life's challenges that are calling you a victim and you say, hold on a second, I'm better than this, or I can grow from this, or take this opportunity to learn who I am, my strengths, and give back that victim title, then you become what you're supposed to be, someone better, stronger from your own challenges. And so today, as I look through my life and my childhood and everything that I went through, it all makes sense, because at the end of the day, all of those challenges, all of those different careers that I had an opportunity to work in, all of those were forming me and molding me to have the ability to do what I do now. So when I have clients that I am helping through their challenges or through their hardships, it brings me back to mine. And I'm like, wow, I went through that for a reason, so that I can acquire the tools that I needed to get, so that I could turn around and give this to my clients, or to my friends, or to people that I see that need that help, that need a helping hand, saying, hey, listen, I got your back. I've been through this. Let me help you figure out how to get out of it. And then I love the fact that I never knew how to write a book, by the way. This was not something that I got training on or anything. I just believed that I could. And I did the work, as Dr. Voss was saying, right? You have to do the work. You have to be present. You have to show up to the moment and say, I'm here. I'm making the time to be here on purpose, right? So when I decided to write a book, I didn't say, oh, I can't write a book. I don't know the first thing about writing a book. I didn't say that. It's all about mentality, remember? So my mentality said, I'm going to figure this out. If someone else can write a book, I can write a book. And so with that mentality, I was able to research and do my homework and reach out to mentors that already did this, and ask the questions that I needed so that I learned how to write this book. And it was bumpy. It took me 3.5 years to write this book. And there was a lot of processes and a lot of, changing things and switching things around, adding things. But it's the process in itself was so beautiful, because it was a learning experience for me. And now, as I'm starting to write my second book, and by the way, the book, I was just telling Dr. Baumani that this book is currently in English. But today, this afternoon, I finished working with a translator, and it's going to be available in Spanish, which I am beyond excited to be able to put that out into the world. And then I'm going to be jumping into my second book. But the point here is that I believe I can, and so I do. And that's one of the messages that I want to leave to all of you. When you believe that you can, when you believe that you have the capability, not the knowledge yet, but the capability of saying, I'm gonna push myself and figure out if I can do it, then you can. Then then you have titles that you couldn't believe you actually have. I'm an author, and I'm a public speaker, and I've done international speaking, and I was on the TEDx platform, which to me is mind-blowing. But when you believe that you can achieve it. And again, I can't commend you enough. Bravo to all of you who are taking the time to be part of this program, because within this is how you connect. I love, by the way, Dr. Baumani said that there's 3 of the panelists or 4 of the panelists that are best friends, have never met. That is amazing. I want to be on that WhatsApp group, by the way. I need best friends. But I commend you for that. That is amazing. The fact that you are all in different countries and can call each other friends. I mean, think about that. There's people that live next door to someone that they don't even know. Meanwhile, you are all connected in different countries. That is amazing and beautiful. Like, it gets me emotional, because you guys have access to something that I didn't have access when I was younger. I mean, I couldn't contact, well, I guess I could write a letter to someone in another country, but now you can see each other and have interactions. So I find that beautiful. Now, I don't know if I can share my screen, but I do want to put something up. There's one, this is one of my favorite quotes. By the way, if you want to stay connected to me, you can go ahead and scan the QR code. But one of my favorite quotes, and the one that I live by on a daily basis, is this one. Strong people come from tough circumstances, but it is always, always up to you to decide how that defines you. You're a victim the minute that you accept to be a victim. So if you don't feel that you have to be a victim in this world, send that title back and say, I'm going to define myself my own way. So this is my TED Talk is called When Breaking Points Lead to Empowerment. It's a bullet point version of my book. The book is obviously an in-depth look at my entire story. And then you can reach out to me on my website as well. But I would love to open up to any questions that anybody might have. I don't know if I took it off too soon, but if you need it again, just put it in the message and then I'll put it back up. But I'd love to answer any questions anybody might have.
I gave everybody the link to your TED Talk. So all they have to do, you guys, is just copy and paste it and put it on a new sheet. And then that should pop up for you after this webinar. I have a question for you, Erika.
Of course.
For our students in Academy, a lot of them are coming from underdeveloped or developing countries, or a lot of them are in our group joining this project so that they can improve their English. What advice do you have for them in this journey? Because it's going to be a journey, you guys. This is going to be an expedition. So what advice do you have for them?
The only time you're going to find failure is the minute you quit. Failure is one of the most beautiful opportunities of growth. So even as you go through challenges, even if the language barrier is hard or you don't understand certain things, and let's say you have an exam or something that you have to present and you didn't get the grade or the level that you wanted to, never look at that as a failure. That's always going to be an opportunity for you to grow more, figure it out, right? So those opportunities are never failures. The only time you find failure is when you say, I quit. Then you found failure. So if you get rid of the quitting as an option and you just keep going through, I promise you'll get it. Again, I wrote an entire book without having a slightest idea how to write one. And it was bumpy, and I found a couple of things that I did wrong, actually a few things that I did wrong. But the point of it was I never quit. And then now I am an author. Now I have a book that is transforming lives as we speak. My book is being used as part of therapy sessions for underprivileged girls here in the USA that are going through struggles at home with their families. And so imagine if I had quit. Then there are people that don't have access to the story that I lived through to inspire them and move them forward. So my only suggestion is never quit. Everything else can be worked on. Just don't ever quit.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I want to add to that because, of course, I know what it's like as well, right? I immigrated from the Philippine Islands, and my mother died when I was 5 years old, and my stepmother and my father, let's just say that they were not the best parents in the world. And, they were doing the best they can, right? So a lot of people that we experience in our lives, they are who they are because really they're doing the best they can, even if they're your parents, right? And that's all they know to do the best they can. So just piggybacking on what Erika is saying is that you never quit, right? Because your entire life will be an opportunity to learn. If you can just imagine that Earth is school, and every experience that we encounter is an opportunity for us to grow and to learn and have takeaways. And then just like what Erika was saying in her talk, that all of these small little experiences is a compilation of a great big experience that is coming for you. There is a great big change that is coming for you, whether it's to be a TEDx speaker or to write a book or, to be an international renowned, author. It's coming for you. But all of these little experiences, like the X-Culture experience, is a little opportunity, just a small opportunity for you to grow. So whatever that is that you encounter in the next 6 to 8 weeks, use it as your classroom and teach yourself how to overcome some of those challenges that you're going to come across. Okay. Okay, so any other questions for Erika before she has to fly off because she has a meeting with her editor?
Yeah, to finish the Spanish book.
I don't think there were any other questions, but yes, there were a few words of appreciation for you in the chat, and we truly loved having you join us over here. So thank you so much for your words of wisdom.
Thank you. Anytime. And again, connect with me if you ever have questions afterwards. But I wish you all the best of luck. And remember, don't quit. You're going to become somebody. I'm going to read about all of you one day and say, wow, they started here and look at them now. Yeah. So congratulations and the best of luck to everybody.
Thank you so much,
Erika.
Thank you.
And with that, let's move on to our next segment. So obviously, you all are about to embark on your journey as students, but something that a lot of you might not know was that all of us were students at one point. All of us went through the same stages that you are about to get into. So just to discuss that a little bit more, I am going to be joined by Joanne, Pooja, and Beatrix to discuss their experiences and just highlight what they went through when they were in your shoes. So Joanne, Pooja, and Beatrix, could you guys just introduce yourselves really quickly, where you're from, how old you are?
Hello, everyone. My name is Beatrix Eveline Morway, and I'm from Romania, 20 years old. And this semester, I will serve in X-Culture as a senior coach for the first time. Nice to meet you all.
Hey everyone, I'm Joanne, 17 from Singapore. And I'm a senior coach with X-Culture and part of a picture book project. Looking forward to getting along with you guys this semester.
Hello everyone, I'm Pooja Gewali from Nepal. I'm 18, I'm turning 19 next month, and I'm serving as a senior coach, and then I'm also a part of the engagement activities along with Thesis and Leon.
All right, so thank you so much for that lovely introduction, and we'll get straight into the question. So remember everyone, if you also have some questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. We would love to answer them to the best of our ability. So let's begin with Joanne. Joanne, what was your most enjoyable experience in X-Culture as a student, aside from all the work that you obviously did?
I would say that it was when I had a meeting with my team members and I was just like, interacting with them. And that was a really lighthearted moment. And I thoroughly enjoyed the experience.
That is lovely. Well, we all had beautiful experiences with our teams, and you all are about to experience that in a few weeks. So let's move on to Pooja. Pooja, where were your teammates from when you were an X-Culture student?
So I had a team of like 7 members, and then 2 of them were from India and I was from Nepal, and then we had one from Romania, and then one from Egypt, one from Morocco, and one from Bangladesh.
Wow, that is really the spread. So that's covering a lot of continents. So Beatrix, what is one thing that you believe that the current students should look out for going into this project?
Well, I think that keeping English as the main language in the group chat or like even within the meetings is really important. And please, everyone, pay attention to time zones. It doesn't really seem like a big problem, but sometimes it can cause really big misunderstandings.
That is true. So as you might have already figured out, everyone, the teams are consisting of students from all across the globe. So it's often difficult to gauge when other people will be active. So it's important to keep in mind time zone differences. So an anonymous attendee asks, how did the X culture experience help you when you were applying to university? So I'll let Beatrix answer that because I think you're in university. Go ahead.
Yes, actually, when I applied first time in Germany, in Munich, at the business school, I submitted the recommendation letter that I get from X Culture, and apart from they were not really interested in my previous studies, like what I did in high school, but I got a lot of questions regarding what I did in X Culture, and I think that even when we had like a small team project during our interview, it helped me a lot because I knew how to present and I was able to organize my ideas better than the others. So it's really helpful. It will really make the difference.
That is lovely to hear. So, Joanne, did you find the practical phase challenging? And if so, how did you navigate around the challenges that you faced?
Yeah, so there was definitely challenges present. So a challenge was that we had very different working styles because the way that we split our work was such that two people were working on each section. So sometimes it got a little messy and there were duplicates. And basically, as a resolution, we had a meeting to set a common standard and somehow keep things organized.
All right, that is lovely to hear. So, Pooja, I would just like to round off this interactive session by asking you, what has been the most rewarding experience, in your opinion, in X culture?
Culture, I can't describe it with words because everything here is a rewarding experience, starting from the teammates that I earned, and then all of you guys, and then the professional network that we're connected to, and then the skills that I learned, like many things, many theoretical things, as well as the practical things, how to work in a team and everything. So X culture is the most rewarding experience that I've ever had in my whole life.
That is lovely to hear because I think that that's what connects us all. X culture is a community that harbors growth and catalyzes personal development more than anything. And I think we all leave this program having found like a home virtually and a family of people from all across the globe. So with that, we would like to wrap up this segment. It's been lovely talking to you three. And let's just move on to the rest of our very lovely team. So I would like to invite the rest of the senior coaches and ask them to introduce themselves and talk a little bit about what they will be doing this semester. And then we'll ask Dr. B to introduce herself as well. So can we begin with Leon Maspero? Leon, what is your role in X Culture and what will you be doing this semester?
Okay, well, hello everyone. So as Tejas mentioned, my name is Leon. I am 18 years old and I'm from South Africa. I'm currently actually this semester an admin member. So I might not be as active with you as students, but I'll be behind the scenes helping the coaches and everything like that. But I'm really looking forward to interacting with you all.
That's lovely to hear. Ania, how about you go next?
Hello, I'm Ania. I'm from the Philippines. I am a senior coach this semester. So as I said, she is behind the scenes. I'm the one that will be on hands with you guys, and I will be talking with you guys one-on-one or maybe as a group. And I am also in charge of the art program / art event. So I hope you guys stay tuned for that. Thank you.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the art program and a lot of other programs that are part of X Culture in just a few minutes. But Joanne, Pooja, Beatrix, could you just introduce yourselves once again, how old you are, where you're from? So Joanne, would you like to go?
Yeah, sure. Hey, so once again, I am Joanne, 17 years old from Singapore and senior coach this semester, and I'll be working on the picture book this semester, and hopefully everyone will be on board with that.
That's lovely to hear. Pooja, how about you?
Hello everyone once again. I'm Pooja Gewali from Nepal, a senior coach this semester. I'm 18 and I'll be turning 19 next month, February 20. So don't forget to visit me there. And I'll also be working on the engagement activities with Tejas and Leon.
All right. So Beatrix, how about you?
Hi, I'm Beatrix Eveline Morvai from Romania. I'm also senior coach for the first time this semester, and I will most probably help with the creative activities during the webinars this semester.
That's lovely to hear. All right, so I'll round it off by introducing myself. Hi, everyone. My name is Tejas Chakrabarti. I am 15 years old. I'm from India. I'm also an admin team member, and I'll be pretty hands-on as well because I'm going to be part of the X Culture social medias. I'm going to be part of the X Culture like events such as the art event, which we shall introduce shortly. We also have another event called the X Culture Gymkhana. Stay tuned to find out more about that. But basically, I'm all over the place. So you'll be seeing a lot of me. And with that, let's just round it off by introducing our director. Dr. B, go ahead.
Hello, everybody. I'm Dr. Baumanis. I am a university professor at Lynn University in Boca Raton, Florida. I've been teaching with X Culture for about 12 years now. I am the founding member of what we call Global Symposiums, which I will talk to you more about at our closing because it is open to all of you guys as well. And it is a broad experience that you could potentially participate in should you do really well in academy and surface up to be among the top 10% of our graduates. So, and we'll talk more about that towards the end. So that's me, Dr. B.
That was lovely, Dr. B. So, unfortunately, a lot of people have not been able to join us today. We have a much, much larger team consisting of approximately 11 senior coaches and many more coaches who you will be introduced to shortly. These coaches are from everywhere you can possibly imagine, from different countries, different age groups, different professional backgrounds, who will be working with you actively throughout the course of this semester to make sure that this experience is a very enjoyable one and a very smooth one for you. So with that, let us round off this active portion of the meeting by playing a simple game. So I hope that you've been paying attention because things might get a little bit competitive. So senior coaches, feel free to join in and let's begin. So I'll just share my screen. Okay, so note beforehand, you will need like at least a pencil and a paper. So just keep that handy. But don't worry too much about it because it won't be like too daunting. Till then, if you have any questions for us, you can please feel free to put them in the chat section. We would love to answer them for you. All right. Seeing that there are none, let us begin. So I'm going to share a link with you all in the chat section. Please join in and like here's the link. And if you're not able to join in with the link for some reason, you can go to joinmyquiz.com and enter the code 301776.
Also, just to mention, if you can't at all join, you can put your answers in the chat. I don't know if that's an option. I'm not sure the quiz, but that's also something you can
it's
do.
not really going to be possible for a few questions, but definitely you can for others. So feel free to join in. So let's all try to join in. So like senior coaches as well, just feel free to join in. I can see that a few of you have already. So so let's wait for a few more minutes for the others to join in. I know that Wi-Fi issues might be a contributing factor to some of the delays, but we can wait. So I'll wait for it to hit 40. You'll still be able to join in once the lesson started. And yeah. So do we have any more people joining in? Okay, we do, yeah. Yeah, also for those of you who would like to communicate with Miss Erika, who was our guest speaker for today, you can follow her on Instagram and yes. All right, so I think we're not going to have like too many attendees for the game, but that's perfectly okay. Let us begin. So everybody, welcome to the X Culture Welcome Event quiz. So don't need to worry, it's not going to be very, very difficult or problematic. So let's just take a look at what this is about. So it's a battle for glory. Don't need to worry, it's just a fun way for you to interact with each other, get to know each other a little bit, and just have fun. So throughout this quiz, you'll learn a little bit more about X culture, you'll learn a little bit more about your experiences, and just have a little bit of fun. So without further ado, let us begin. So here's your first challenge. X culture values diversity, culture, and global mindedness. When we first mention these terms to you, what is an image that comes to mind? So feel free to start drawing on your screens and like submit your drawings. You have a lot of time. Don't need to make it very complex, but yeah, would love to see what you guys draw. Okay, let's view what Andrea has made. All right, that is very cool. I assume that's the globe. That's really cool to look at. Oh wow, so we have a recurring theme going on over here where everyone's drawing the globe. Well, we are a very international community. We definitely are a home for people all across the globe. That is very true. So, Joanne, what would you imagine when I mentioned these three terms to you for the first time?
I was just in the midst of drawing like multiple people from like different backgrounds and all represented by different colors.
Okay, Florence drawn the X Culture logo, which is really cool. Yes, we have people all across the globe. We have more people. Another globe. Yes, we are truly international, and that's what truly defines us. We are a community of all kinds of people from all across the globe. So peace is definitely something that we have like as an integral part of X culture. We want like international collaboration amongst our students. So lovely drawings that you guys have put out here. So Pooja, what would you think if you were presented with these three words for the first time?
So these three words, like, I don't know, maybe these three words like represent X culture as a whole, and then they would represent actually my drawing. I've drawn a globe with all the people on there represented in different colors and in different shapes. I'm submitting it right now to you.
That's true. Yep. That's true. Joanne, is this you by any chance?
It is. You can see my brilliant masterpiece right there.
Wow. Okay. This is okay. This is interesting. Somebody's drawn a graph. That's interesting. I mean, yes. Like graphs will become a very integral part of your final reports, but that's an interesting take. That's the first. That's one of a kind, I would say. All right. Last one, I think. Okay. Love. Beautiful drawings we've seen. I'm actually surprised at how good some of your work has been, like in a matter of seconds. So I wouldn't have been able to do that, but kudos to you. So what you just experienced, my dear friends, was a brief insight to the X Culture Art Program. So the X Culture Art Program is a weekly recurring program led by Ania Nug and I, wherein we delve into various themes. And Pooja also helps us out. I'm so sorry, Pooja, I forgot you. So we have recurring themes wherein we discuss a variety of topics and we ask our community to express themselves in the most artistic ways possible. So we like encourage our budding artists to draw, to paint, to create collages, to write, basically any and every single medium of art possible. So if you are interested in any form of art, or if you would like to express yourself artistically, do check this program out. So Ania, would you like to introduce this a little bit more because you are the coordinator?
Okay, so for the art program, as Tejas said, we do have weekly prompts for this. The prompts vary from like probably your favorite TV series to your favorite song to something in a book. That's how wide our prompts are, and they will be posted in our social medias as well as my own social medias. I also promote it there. But you may think the art program is just more of painting, drawing, and all that, but no, we also accept performing arts. So if you want to sing a song, dance, we also accept that. And some unique things that we have gotten was actually song lyrics. I remember there's a time where somebody actually submitted a song to us. So that was really unique. And by the way, at the end of the program, we also have an art event where we showcase all the art from throughout the semester.
So basically what we end up doing is we compile your art and create our own virtual gallery and showcase your work in a very cool interactive manner. So we'll be doing that this semester as well. So make sure to participate, even if you don't think that you're the best at art. It's a free for all. It's open to everyone. So we would love to have you. All right, your next challenge is a little bit different. So X Culture is a community of global learners from all over the world. What is one thing that your country is known for the most? So don't forget to write your country's name and we'll love to hear. So let me ask somebody else from the panel. So Ania, what do you think your country is known for the most? World Wars, that's intense. Chili crab, that is really cool. Cars, which is also true. Love German cars. Joanne says Singlish, which is also interesting. The food and the people, Colombia. Machu Picchu, so that's Peru. Brazil, food. Also football, I'd say. Ukraine is known for Ukraine. No speed limit on the Autobahn, that is funny. Coffee, Colombia. Bubble tea and friendly people, Taiwan. Galapagos Island, Ecuador. Cars. Colombia is known for coffee. Machu Picchu, Peru, made football. I don't know where you're from, but that is interesting. Peru, food. Romania is known for the food and the people that are different. Coffee, sausages, biodiversity and coffee. Germany, quality. Colombia. We have a lot of people from Germany, Colombia, and Romania. India is known for its diversity. That is very true. India is known for its diversity. So Ania, I don't think you answered. What do you think defines your country the most?
Oh, okay, so for my country, I think it's either the people because we're known for being hospitable. And recently in the 2020 Olympics, we got our gold medal for weightlifting.
Oh yeah. We got our first gold medal as well. Not first gold medal in a while.
Ours was like the first.
Okay, so landscapes and diversity. Table Mountain, yes, that's a very interesting one. India politics, Brazil soccer. Okay, yeah, Mount Everest, Puja. Best fossils of early dinosaurs, cuisine, Ukraine. Amazing surfing beaches. Okay, look, Leon, you have someone else from South Africa, so that's nice. So you have a friend. All right, so let us move on to the next question. Yeah. So, X Culture is a community of global learners. We often meet at symposia across the world. Where would you want your symposia to be? So just to explain to you guys, symposiums are week-long events that happen in a particular country. Like students from X Culture that are the best performing students from all across the globe come together, indulge in activities and have a lot of fun. So where would you want the next symposium to be? So 12 people say the Americas, 5 people say Asia, 13 people say Europe, 1 person for Africa and 1 person from Oceania. Also, feel free to put your country-wise recommendations in the chat. So which country would you like to visit? So let me ask someone. Dr. B, where would you love to go?
Wow, actually, I'm going to save that for my last closing speech because we have a couple of countries that we are taking a look at. So I want to know where you guys want to go. Tell me where you want to go.
Me, I would love to go to, I don't know, Iceland. That's an interesting country. Yeah, plus it's very different from where I am. So, all right. So basically what you guys just experienced right now was a brief insight to the X Culture virtual tours. So the X Culture virtual tours are a weekly recurring segment, or not a weekly, a bi-weekly recurring segment, wherein we get together and we travel to a country virtually. So students from all across the globe introduce their country to us virtually through the means of presentations, and they delve into the culture, the history, the art, and it's a lovely experience. So frankly, all of you know that because of COVID-19, we have not been able to travel as much as we wanted to. So here's your virtual solution to that. And unfortunately, the coordinators of this program were not able to join us today, but it's definitely a very enjoyable experience. So let's move on to the final question for the day. So, all right, so of course, there's no conversation about culture which is complete without talking about food. So your next challenge is to describe the meal that you are currently eating, or the one that you have already had, in the weirdest way possible. So some of you would be eating your food right now. Some of you would have already had a meal. So go ahead, describe it in the weirdest way possible. And don't forget to also add like what you had. So Joanne, what did you last eat?
I have a bowl of curry right next to me. It's really good.
That's nice. Okay. Paul says blood sausage. I don't think it gets more literal than that, but that's cool. So Rianne had aglio e olio, which is oily yet yummy. That is interesting. Pressing blood out of an orange and drinking it. That is a very weird way to say orange juice, but I like it. Varenix, I do not know what that is. Sunny upside. Also don't know that. Cheesy pasta. That's literally. Okay, you ate a green liquid. Breakfast pancakes. Okay, that's cool. On a Viking ship. That's cool. Porsche. It's kind of the color of rust. Okay, that's interesting. Green small fruit. Did you eat a grape? I'm eating some smushy and crunchy that has been expired. Okay, that is nice. Don't eat expired food, please, unless it's okay to eat. 2 pieces of cooked wheat with a piece of dead pork and a produce that comes from cows. A sandwich. Okay, so you had a cheese and pork sandwich. That's nice. Okay, you had... Leon, what did you eat? What?
It was banana bread.
Okay, fair. Like, to be fair, like a banana tree is like not a very big tree. So, I mean, not a really big tree. So,
it's not a tree, isn't it?
Cow, honey in my cereal, and overcooked grain diluted with water. That is interesting. It's technically a bean. Technically a bean. Lemon jelly. Okay, lemon jelly is really amazing. For those of you who have not tried it, you need to try it. So, Ania, what was your last meal?
My last meal was something very spicy, but my dad considered it not to be spicy at all.
Yeah, of course. Dads are like that. Soft and crunchy at the same time. Like red liquid soup, I'm assuming that's tomato or like beetroot. Crunchy at the same time with cheese and very salad. That's interesting. Green food. A lot of people eating green soup nowadays. That's nice. Many long spicy beef worms with egg. That is interesting. Okay, that's nice. This orange description is amazing. Okay. Walking seeds of rice with some bird's eggs. That is cool. So, for all of you weird, wonderful foodies all across the globe, we actually have an activity called the X Culture Virtual Cooking Classes. Now, these activities are basically for students from all across the globe to come together and share their recipes and have a fun time cooking live in front of each other. So you get to see food from all across the globe. You might even get a chance to learn something. So for example, last semester, I had the luck of trying out a recipe by myself at home, which I learned during the cooking classes. And it was frankly quite amazing. So I'll ask Ania to talk a little bit more about it because she coordinates that program as well.
Okay, so for the cooking class, I used to do this with Lion. Anyways, so for the cooking classes, we do get volunteer students to be our chef for the weekly webinar, which is usually scheduled around this time. And you will be showcasing a food from your culture or any food that you like. So an example would be, for me last semester, I had the opportunity to showcase halo halo, which is a Filipino dessert. So you'll be showcasing that, and you'll also be asked some questions from us, like the origin of the food, and maybe from the students, like where can we get these ingredients in their countries, and so on.
All right, thank you so much for that, Ania. So with that, we would like to conclude this part of the X Culture event. So I would just like to tell you guys that there's a lot more that we do in this program. We have a fitness program that we run on our applications. We have like a game show called the Gymkhana, which I'll be like introducing to you guys in a few weeks. We have a lot more going on our servers, etc., which I'll get to in a bit. But let me just answer this question, like where can we get more information about all of these extra activities where we can participate? So that is a very good question. Well, you can get this information from the X Culture Discord server. Now, the X Culture Discord server is a community server that we have built for the students and the coaches for us to interact with each other. So all of these activities will be run and advertised on this particular server. So I will be attaching the link in the chat section right now. So please don't forget to join this. I will also be like sending a link in future meetings so that like we can have as many people as possible joining. So that's the link to join the server, and please join in whenever you can. And if you don't have Discord, feel free to download the app, open an account. If you find it really confusing, feel free to like reach out to any one of us and ask us. We'll definitely love to help you out. So with that, thank you so much for joining in. We would love to pass it on to Dr. B to close the event for today.
Hi guys. My computer is having a little blip here. Okay, so this is going to conclude our welcome orientation. I do want to highlight a couple of things before we say goodbye. Again, the activities that Tejas just talked about, we have something happening every week, whether it's an art class or an art show, I'm sorry, who Ania is our curator, or a cooking show, which I think Ania is also going to be managing. Ania, are you doing both of those?
Yes.
I think you need to ask for help.
I
I'm
really
gonna be managing that. Who's in charge of tours, virtual tours?
Luis and Nujat, who are unfortunately not here.
Okay, so something will be presented to you on a weekly basis, but we also need you guys to sign up as cooking demonstrators or tour guides or showing your art, because this is, again, these platforms are for you. And every week we will have, in the beginning of each of these sessions, an opportunity for you to ask your questions as you're going through your project. So it's kind of like an open platform to pose any X Culture questions that you may have. And then we'll follow that up with our activities. Then also towards the end, Raphael will explain to you what's expected for the coming week. So it's nice not just to join the activities, but it's also an opportunity for you guys to like catch up on what was I supposed to do last week, and then what am I going to be doing next week? And if I have questions on how to do something next week, this would be the open platform to do it. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Also remember that what Dr. Voss told you, the reward for you to complete the X Culture project is that you will become a certified global business professional, and that you will have a letter of recommendation. And as Beatrix told you, and so many students have actually shared with us, that this is a great way for you to get exposed to not just the global community, but to share your experiences with potential university recruiters. They want to know what makes you a better candidate than the next person. And X Culture is a very unique platform. It's a great opportunity for you guys to really actively learn what it means to be a global business professional. And because you complete it, and we give you these letters of recommendations, you also become a certified global business professional. Okay, so make sure that you keep that in mind as you're going through your weekly sessions. And then the last thing is the Global Symposium. As Tay just mentioned, I also lead that program. And every year pre-COVID, we actually held an on-ground global virtual slash on-ground program. So what that means is that it's a 6-week program. It's usually in the summer, so it's kind of like summer school. The first 5 weeks you work virtually like you are now. And then the last week we fly somewhere to get together with our friends and colleagues and work on projects together in the same way that you're doing now, except it's 5 weeks on ground and then 1 week, 5 weeks online and then 1 week on ground. How you get invited to apply is that you have to bubble up to the top 10% of your graduating semester. So for example, if there are 7,000 students in the semester, the 700 students from the semester will get an invitation to apply. That's from university students and academy students together. And of those students, we only invite to attend 200. So it's really important that you do really well and that you surface up to the top 10%. And then there are other things that is expected, right? Like you have to pay your airfare to the location, and then we have a 1-week fee for the amenities that you'll be using in that 1 week. So the 5 weeks prior, there's no fee for that, but that 1 week we pay for lodging, food, transportation, and all of the interactive activities that we do on ground. So that runs around $1,400 to $1,500 American dollars, but we give you guys opportunities to solicit for sponsorships. We actually help you with letters and applying for scholarships for you to be funded for that. So it is something that's costly, but at the same time, it is something that is completely doable. We've had students from all over the world join us, and most of them were funded by either their universities, their cities. You can even run for yourself a GoFundMe from your families. You can do a summer job now and prepare for it maybe the following year. So there are all sorts of ways that you can participate in this program. Again, we will let you know when that is available, but for now, we are looking to go, there's 2 potential places that we are looking at. One is Washington, DC in the United States. So I know people were waiting for that. And this is going to be in 2023. We're not traveling in 2022 because COVID reasons, but we are potentially traveling in 2023, provided that we've already, let's say, resolved some of the COVID issues. And then the other potential is that we are looking to do a Mediterranean cruise in Europe, probably coming out of Italy and then going around the Mediterranean. So those are the 2. Oh, actually, there's one more university applied in Thailand. So that might be a potential university that we might look at in doing Global Business Weekend. So, so that was my announcement with the 3 locations for 2023. That might change, you guys. So please don't put that in concrete, because again, with COVID and with the constant change of travel restrictions, we're always pivoting as we go. Okay, and that concludes our welcome orientation. We are 15 minutes late, Tejas. But I hope that you guys got what you wanted. It's a pleasure to be your director. Welcome, everybody. And I hope that you have a wonderful experience in this semester.
Yeah, lovely to have you guys. Thank you so much. So good day, good night. If you want, you can type bye-bye in your own language in the chat section before we leave really quickly. And we love to have you here. If you have any further questions, you can contact us on Discord. And Alvida in Hindi.
Oh, wait, India, they said that the Discord is not working, but you guys, you'll actually get an emailed invitation from our administrator. So don't stress if the Discord invitation is not valid. You will get an invitation in the letter, okay?
Yep.
How do we say goodbye and all that? So in the United States, it's bye. How do you say it in India, the Philippines, Leon, South Africa?
I just said it's in Hindi, it's Alvida. Ania, go ahead.
Wait, I just forgot.
Fair enough. Leon, Joanne.
Bye.
再见.
Okay, wow. So apparently Joanne and I are the only ones who know our own languages. All right. Lovely to have you guys. And good day, good night, good afternoon. And
Peace
take
and
care.
love.
Peace and love. Bye-bye.
Peace and love. Bye.